Newgrounds has existed for almost 30 years now, and despite being well past its heyday, the website has undoubtedly played a huge role in shaping the modern internet landscape. I didn't grow up using Newgrounds directly, but many of the creators I watched were either heavily inspired or directly from Newgrounds. I love looking back on the old and forgotten cartoons that at one point defined the website. Most were crude amateur productions usually created by some dude with a shitty microphone and Adobe Flash. But there's a charm to these that I feel makes them worth highlighting even now, decades after their release. Some of the videos I found were pretty popular for the time, others not so much. It's a good mix, so let's not waste any more time and get straight into them. Going through old Newgrounds content, I found a lot of sprite-based animations. These seem to be all the rage back in the day. Mario Bros. Z is probably the most iconic of them. Four Swords Misadventure is another one of these, that began all the way back in October of 2004. The series appears to have been pretty popular, especially for the early 2000s. It's very much a product of its time though. I find it hard to imagine something like this drawing anywhere near the same viewership today. The dialogue is pretty corny, and none of the jokes are all that good.
Ha ha ha. What haven't I done with Princess Zelda?
You lucky bastard! I mean, how dare you?
But with that being said, I actually kind of liked it. Its poor quality is sort of charming, and I just like the feel of these old videos you can tell were made by a single dude having a bit of fun.
He's not dead. He's just drunk.
The cherry on top here is the low-quality Naruto opening rip they used for the credits. What's crazy is that there are still episodes being made to this very day, over 20 years since it began. Most of the animators I've found while making this video have long since left the internet, so it's kind of refreshing to see this guy still at it. I imagine some people really loved this series when it came out.
Scholars say there were once 4 angels that fell from the sky. They were the first, the enlightened ones, who defied God and tried to create heaven on earth. This was the original sin.
Sin was created by Zero Shift and is this edgy anime-styled web series. It may just be the edgiest creation that's ever edged. I'll just read to you the brief plot synopsis they provided us. So originally I was gonna read this whole thing out, but it's too damn long, so I'm not gonna do that, but feel free to pause and read it though. I think it's kind of funny how long this goes on for. It's such a dark and edgy series, exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from an anime fan in 2005 to create. I love hearing what's meant to be super serious dialogue through their god-awful microphones.
And just who the hell are you?
I have no name.
But you know, for 2005 standards, the animation is kind of impressive, especially since Zero Shift animated it all using just a mouse. It's still not by any means good, but I just love how ridiculous this completely serious, edgy web anime from 2005 feels. And you know, it's kind of nice to see that some person made a genuine attempt to create something they thought was cool, in spite of the few tools they had at their disposal. You should check this one out. It's fun, I guess.
I live in a time where peace is only a memory. My name, you ask? I am Cain, the Forsaken One. This is my story.
This was posted over 25 years ago. The video is older than me and probably most of the people watching. This internet animation is pre 9/11.
9/11.
We will unfortunately never know how 9/11 might have affected Boo DZ 007's cartoons, since his last post was in January of 2001. Strangely enough though, he has a Twitter account linked to his page. that was created in 2015. So after 14 years of being completely inactive on his Newgrounds page, he decided it was necessary to add this on there. The effects of marijuana is also the only post on Newgrounds to have the overdoses tag listed on it. So that's epic, I guess. I sometimes wonder what the people behind these decades old and abandoned accounts are up to now.
Isn't it fucking extreme? I'm edgy and I kick ass, I'm from the future, and I got martial arts and eye lasers and shit!
Back in 2005, Warner Bros. Released Lunatics Unleashed. This was a dark and gritty reimagining of the Looney Tunes franchise that turned their iconic characters into a bunch of edgy alien superheroes.
On it, Tech. Extra crispy.
Needless to say, nobody at the time liked this, which is what led to this video's creation.
Because I'm extreme!
The pure hatred you have to have for something in order to make this is unreal. This single animation was probably far more culturally significant than Lunatics Unleashed ever was, and rightfully so.
You guys got any crack?
We have another sprite-based cartoon, however, this one wasn't nearly as popular as the last one. This is Super Chaos Bros, created by Flash Twister, and this might just be a cinematic masterpiece. Oh yeah, real hard-ass Mario. Luigi, shut the fuck up. For real, Mario, for real. I mean, why don't she learn Kung Fu? Yeah, why don't you learn Kung Fu, dumbass bitch? Is this well made? No. Is it clever? Not really. Should I have enjoyed it? Probably not, but nonetheless, I kind of did. No one is gonna tell me that Mario telling Luigi to shut the fuck up is not a work of art. Flash Twister would eventually make Super Chaos Bros 2, and he took a much different approach with this one. This new episode opens on Mario and Luigi in an active raid on Bowser's castle, fighting against an army of Koopas equipped in full-on military gear. It's not even played for laughs, this is taken completely seriously. However, once they reach the top of the castle, it is revealed that their opponent is not actually Bowser, but instead Sonic the Hedgehog, which results in them having a full-on Dragon Ball Z type fight. Mario even has his own power-up transformation and everything. Overall, I must say, this was not the kind of sequel I imagined Super Chaos Bros would have. Flash Twister has made a couple other animations that seem to have gotten a decent amount of traction, but I don't really care for any of these.
I got rabies!
I don't know what's creepier, the fact that she made out with an animal or a corpse.
The guy hasn't been seen on Newgrounds since 2010. However, I still am holding out hope that he will one day release Super Chaos Bros 3. It's only a matter of time, guys. This one is just an actual well-made and kind of beautiful short film. Its style is a very nice mix of traditional art and flash animation, paired with a song that really brings together this little emotional story. The tone is a stark contrast from most Newgrounds animations of that time. Wa347, real name Sean Buckaloo, created this as a project for art school, and now works in the animation industry. You might even recognize some of the shows he's worked on.
My name is Tony. Holy Tony.
We have yet another beautiful and emotional piece of animation. Horny Tony, created by Herider, is one of those works that redefines how we view the medium of animation and pushes the limits of what most people thought possible in this art form. I really appreciate the subtlety of this cartoon. It's nice to see a Newgrounds video that doesn't rely on shock value to get a laugh. Just some nice, clean fun. Give Horny Tony a watch if you want something both intellectually and emotionally stimulating. I probably can't show you almost anything from this one. I don't think I can even say its name, but I'm sure you can make an educated guess on what happens here. Many would say this cartoon has aged like a fine wine in light of recent events, but it's interesting to look at the older comments here. It seems nobody at the time liked Diddy either long before his crimes came to light. Well, everyone except for Warmaster7, who left a scathing comment in defense of Mr. P. Diddy.
Diddy, come on out!
There is a sea of old George Bush cartoons here. None of these are notable enough to have an entire section dedicated to them, but I figured I'd highlight some of what I found.
I want to bomb Iraq.
Called this meeting to introduce the new line of toys.
Uh-oh.
Well, Donald Trump came and he said that it was real fun here.
Mr. President, North Korea's got nukes. Oh, ding dong dong ding ding dong dong. Translation? Whatever!
Wolverine can throw his hands, and they're cool.
It's interesting to see how radically different these political meme videos are compared to what we see in the modern day, but in some regards, they haven't really changed that much. The Miss Dynamite universe was created by Sarkovsky. It follows the wacky hijinks of two characters, Eva and... I can't say that name here. This series is just really horny all of the time. I imagine that played a role in why it got so popular. A lot of the episodes were made in the early 2000s, and they look way more impressive than most stuff released at the time. The lore for this series gets pretty wild. At one point, Miss Dynamite joins Al-Qaeda. She's also held prisoner in Guantanamo Bay before eventually escaping, and is then hunted down by the CIA. There was even a time she briefly teamed up with a furry. While Miss Dynamite's first appearance on Newgrounds was in July of 2000, the character has apparently been around since 1991. Sarkovsky hasn't posted any animations to Newgrounds since 2010, and he seems to have stopped uploading to the website entirely shortly after. He does have a Twitter account that he's relatively active on, however it's mostly just about politics. There doesn't appear to be any art stuff on there. I'm not sure if Sarkovsky still posts anything art related online anymore. There was at least nothing I could find. This whole series seemed to be super popular back in the day, but suddenly just fell off the map completely. And you don't really hear Miss Dynamite ever mentioned online anymore. And that's all I got for today. Most of what I found doesn't really hold up to modern standards, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy a lot of them. There's a charm to how amateur the production value on these were, and a soul to all of them that feels missing from a lot of the modern slop we consume. I'm almost certainly looking too deep into what were essentially early 2000s shitposts. But many of these laid the foundation for what internet content creation would eventually become. And I think because of that, they deserve to be remembered if only for a moment. There is a mountain of other obscure and forgotten Newgrounds videos that I wish I could talk about, but we'd be here all day if I did that. I'd be curious to hear if any of you remember watching some of these back in the day. And if there are some cartoons you remembered fondly that I didn't go over here, leave them in the comments. Maybe I can talk about them when I hopefully discuss more of these. My name has been Goob. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.